Hello everyone, and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, we're gonna sip a little tea with Uncle Iroh, Tea Master. So, this is our Mardu gift deck that doesn't have the Falcon. We're just gonna throw away our greedy Gambit with Iroh Tea Master and Harmless Offering. Now, the crazy thing about Iroh Tea Master is that when you give away your first Grease Gambit, you can do it again next turn if you have another Grease Gambit, right? Unlike those Harmless Offering and Greedy Falcons, which are only once per activation, Iroh, the Tea Master, is once every turn, and we can keep giving away Grease Gambit and eventually start giving away Demonic Pacts. So that's kind of the whole idea of the deck. And with this deck now, we are also going to slot in Rest in Peace rather than the Black Leyline, because I really tried the Black Leyline every time I tried this deck, and it doesn't perform, right? Either I draw it in the opening hand against non-graveyard decks, and I never draw the Beseech the Mirror it's made for, or I don't ever draw Black Leyline, and it feels bad that our opponent already has a huge graveyard, that by the time I do get the Black Leyline out, I have no way to exile their graveyard. Unlike Rest in Peace, which on entering will just exile all graveyards. So I think it's a much better card for that kind of. It's really just kind of throw Black Leyline out in this wayside. That's the word, right? We don't have to play that card ever again. If you're playing white in the deck, just play Rest in Peace. It's a lot better. So now, of course, we have 4 Beseech the Mirror, the ultimate tutor for this style of deck, where we can tutor up any part of the deck as long as we can bargain. And oh, do we have cards to bargain? With white, we have 4 Seam Rip we can bargain out. With black, we have Momentum Breaker and Nowhere to Run we can bargain out. Uncle Iroh give us food. Sometimes we can bargain with the tea. Apparently the tea is a high commodity. And of course, you can bargain away the bats from the Grease Gambit, and you can even bargain away your Demonic Pact before it kills you. That's something, if you got nothing else to do, you can bargain that away. So there are a lot of ways to tutor into the exact piece you need for the deck, for the game, for the match that you're playing at that moment. So that's kind of the whole idea. Of course, we can kill creatures with Momentum Breaker and Nowhere to Run. And then with Grease Gambit on our opponent's side, they got to sack a creature every turn. So I don't think they're able to go as wide as they would like. And if they're going on a wide strategy, we can a lot of times just kind of Demonic Pact and win by making them lose the game, since their deck are not tuned to answer those kind of scenarios. And if they're control or counterspell heavy decks, we got Duress, which will take out cards from their deck, or from their hand, so that we can get our combo pieces ready, right? So that's the whole idea of the deck. That's some of the deck lists, right? Turn 1, we got the Seam Rip, which is obviously what you want to do, since you're on the play, 10% of the time, on a draw 90% of the time. Seam Rip can be very helpful against what's that card called? Land Elves. And later on, maybe even Badger Mode Cups. But yeah, definitely, Seam Rip is a necessity in this deck. Turn 2, we got 4 Momentum Breaker and 4 Nowhere to Run. Don't look at the rest yet, so that's not our turn 1 play, even though sometimes we do play on turn 1. It's not intended to be a turn 1 play. This is our 1-2 curve. And if you got nothing else, you can just stick out a Rest in Peace on turn 2. Don't let this card fool you into thinking it's dedicated graveyard hate. Sometimes it's just playing this on turn 2, so that turn 4 you can bargain it right away into a card that you do want. Our 3 mana plays is a little bit tricky, because these are not 3 mana plays either, right? The Duress and then these are not 3 mana plays. Their mana value might fool you. They're for later. So this is on turn 1 and turn 2. Turn 3 maybe it's just a combination of a Seam Rip and a Nowhere to Run, or maybe a tap land and one of these removal pieces. Then we'll go to turn 4, and that's where we hit off, right? We have 4 Grease Gambit. You definitely want to play Grease Gambit before any of the other cards if you can, because all you're doing is drawing 3 cards, and then at the end of the turn, you discard a card. That doesn't seem too bad, right? The bats, gain life, all that, those are kind of the sideshow. The main thing is you're getting 3 cards from the Grease Gambit, and then you're discarding a card. A lot of times, a card that you probably don't need for the matchup that you're facing. And in the turn after that, you want to be able to Beseech into Harmless Offering or Iroh, depending on if opponent has open mana or not. If they have open mana, and they're not blue, you Beseech into Harmless Offering. You Beseech into Harmless Offering, and then given the Grease Gambit, they can't stop it. If they don't have open mana, you Beseech into Uncle Iroh, so then you can give it to them and still have Uncle Iroh on board to do it again next turn. And if they do have open mana, dress them first. So that's kind of why the 1 and the 3 mana are here. And even with Beseech the Mirror, digging these out for 4 mana on your turn 5, Duress plus 4 mana is 5 mana. It doesn't need a lot of black pips, but this deck can get there, as you'll see in a moment. Alright, and then of course the other 4 mana play is Demonic Pact, which if you don't have anything else, throw out Demonic Pact is okay, because you can draw cards. And be able to draw cards means that you can draw into these pieces. And worst case scenario, you can draw Beseech the Mirror and sack your Demonic Pact for another thing that can help you survive longer. Right? And then, of course, if nothing else, you can 4 mana Beseech the Mirror into a Grease Gambit. It's not what you want to do, but it's something that you can do just to get the Grease Gambit going. So it's kind of like having 8 Gambits in the deck to get extra greedy. So then we got the 1 mana and the 3 mana play combo together. So now let's talk about the lands, right? The lands is where it gets the trickiest. So even though it's Mardu, you can see how many black spells there are. This is kind of the white side. This is the red and sort of Boros side. All of this is black spells. And some of these require 3 black pips. So we need a lot of black mana. We got 4 Bleachbone Verge, defaults to black, and 4 Godless Shrine. We also have 4 Blazemire Verge, which default to black, and 4 Raucous Theater. And then we have 3 Sacred Foundry, and then 1 playing 3 Swamps and 1 Mountain. Now, all the deck lists I looked at runs Raucous Theater rather than, was it Blood Crypt? Yeah, rather than Blood Crypt. So I'm trying this right now, but after today's games, I will then decide which one is better, whether or not you need Blood Crypt. But right now, this is the version of the deck I'm going to try, and I will go into the game and see how well it will do. Alright, our opponent is Goma. I'm gonna gum it up. Oh dear God. We do go first. So that is a Gambit right ready to happen. But if we get blown out by aggro, we are going to lose, right? Can I afford to keep this crazy ass hand? What would I actually draw in this deck? Momentum breakers and yeah, whatever. Alright, best thing I can draw is just some like stall tactics to get to here. Now that we're already here, we just hope we can draw into stall tactics. Against the Goma. That's our only white land. White. Alright, we'll play Blazemire Verge, say go. I don't have to show them my white mana. Don't think there's 2 white mana things here. Ah, the Sharpshooter. Alright, with this deck... I wonder if they have removal. I guess they do have Get Lost. Alright, they do have Get Lost, so... Get the Grease Gambit out here. We get to fix our draw a little bit, in case the draws are crap. I can discard a pack. I don't have time for packs. Ward Eater's Call, that's great. It does nothing for me. I guess out. Do they have a burn spell to kill my bats? No. Just a regular old trade. Okay, I do have a land, which is pretty important. First, we're gonna give you this little guy right here. Then we'll break your momentum. Sort of. Just a little bit. Another voice. Does deal the damage to me, but he has to sack that voice unless he's playing another creature. Shelter on what? On the momentum? I don't know what that does for you. GG. That is not how you play this game. Discard another card. Yeah. That's not the greatest, I don't think. Alright, I don't gain that much life. But, you know, Momentum Breaker is still gain 1 life. That's 2 War Leaders call. That might be pretty scary. I will just gain some life. Here's 4 damage. Alright, well how about you get another Grease Gambit? I gain 6 life this way. Enters at the beginning of combat. No, he's just gonna leave. Good game, Guma. Alright, our opponent is 0. Lose a 0, get with a hero. We go first. Again, pretty janky hand, to be honest. I'll try it. Not promising much. Again, these are the cards that I do want to hit anyways. It's just that if our opponent is aggressive, we're not going to be able to get there. Let's just rip. Rip it up right now. Another counterspell deck, which is pretty bad. Enigma Jewels. Not a counterspell deck. I do have a Duress, but I'm also going to miss lands, which is going to make me feel bad. Repo Bay, Simulacrum Synthesizer. Which one am I more afraid of? Probably the Repo Bay, because it would just go up, right? The Synthesizer is 1 at a time, the Repo Bay isn't. Alright, here's the Simulacrum Synthesizer. Now what am I gonna hit, huh? Can I please hit a land? Outlook doesn't seem very good. They even got the Krang. That's a land. Oh boy, okay. Well, let's see. I still think I do this, right? I think Grease Gambit is probably the best way to go about it. It's not the bestest. I know what I said. But it will have to do. Do we drop the Iroh or the Seam Rip or the? I probably drop the Seam Rip. I mean, I can also drop the Iroh, but how necessary is the Iroh with this deck now? I don't know. I might have to just discard 3 cards anyways. There it is. Yeah, like you think just top deck United Battlefront. Okay, at least it's not the worst thing to get top decked. To get top decked on. I could Seam Rip something. Does it really matter? I mean, okay, it doesn't matter what I Seam Rip here, but I will Seam Rip something. Surveillance Camp, sack this, draw 2 cards. And just exile 1 or more artifact. Oh, this is mana, so I don't want to give him that mana. We'll take that out of his hand. You can use it right now to activate an artifact ability, but not enough. Right. Buddy, you can have this greedy dude. I don't like that greedy dude, but I think you might like him. You sacked it to draw 2 cards? Yeah. Second Synthesizer. Alright. So he is down to pretty much no cards. But I don't think I want to momentum break basically nothing here. So I guess I can Beseech the bat, but I should probably attack first then. Do we take another Grease Gambit? Do we take a Duress? I don't think I take another I don't think I Duress him here. Unless I Grease Gambit into a Swamp and a Duress. That would be pretty nice. Let's just get greedy. I'm pretty greedy. I don't get a Duress, but I do get a Seam Rip, so... We'll just Seam Rip that Jewel. I'll discard Nowhere to Run. And one of these bats. We got plenty of the bats. They might just get all caught up by the Star Cage here, but yeah, that's not the end of the world. That might be the end of the world. Just gonna sack a creature. Okay, so I'm definitely playing this land. And I'm definitely throwing the Grease Gambit at him. It's just, what else am I doing? He could get the Star Crystal out and just aggro me with all the creatures he has. And that would be pretty bad. So I Momentum Break him once. Alright, this is coming down for sure. Now the question is, what is the next thing that I do? Because I could Beseech to get something, but what could beat that something? I can't kill the Repo Bay. And yeah, right? I can't kill the Repo Bay. So I gotta take this out just to block. But that feels kind of bad. Then I have to sack too. I don't know if I can do that. You know what? I know what I'm doing. Bargain. Out the... probably the Rip. I don't think the Rip does much. And now we gotta get Iroh. Good old Uncle. No one mess with Uncle. You can have... Oh, sorry, permanent you control. Yeah, you can have this other Grease Gambit. I would like a blocker. And I'm gonna try to block the Star Crystal. Yeah, he's gonna get two more. Now he has to sack two. It's just a land. He does have to sack two. And he has no more Fire Crystal. So I could Gambit again. In fact, I don't think there's a reason not to. I gain a life, I get the bats. I don't have enough for double Momentum Breaker, unfortunately, but I think this will still do. Alright, I gotta sack, or discard a card. I gotta sack one creature. But I still have two creatures. Even if he gets, well, he can Repo Bay into something big, but I don't know what his 5-drop is. I don't think he's gonna sack the crystal. He sacks the crystal, so he has no haste. I don't think that's worth it. He'll die to the, yeah, that's not gonna do it. GG. Never sack your crystal, dude. Alright, our opponent is Chapapat Gimme. What? Alright, opponent goes first. Ooh, this is a trickier hand than what the lands may reveal. Because since our opponent goes first, I don't know if I want to Duress him at all. Alright? Because if I Duress him turn 1, Momentum Breaker turn 2, I have to drop the Theater by turn 3. That's a little bit harder to do. Maybe Theater is something that I have to cut. This has been a land that's kind of messing me up a few games. Because he's tapped. I don't know. Our opponent is taking forever for his mulligan, so maybe it's a harder decision. We'll say hi. We're the nice player, even if they're going to rope us. We turn 1 and we're Elf. And we'll have a turn 2 quit. Okay, Sting Vents. Not a turn 1 land we're Elf. That's pretty important. do I care about duressing him right here? Or do I want to bring out the theater first? I'll keep the Seam Rip. He might have Granny. If he has Granny, Seam Rip plus Duress will be really helpful. Okay, he didn't have Granny. He's got these 2 mana. He's got green. That's kind of awkward. Do I Momentum Break him here? For 3 mana, what could he have? I want to play on curve, right? So, I might not be able to duress him, but this is play on curve. I mean, he can counter it too. Ah, it's a quenchy quench. Okay. That's fine. If I duress, then he quench, it would have been pretty much the same, I'd imagine. Oh, he's gonna stock up. Okay. This deck does have a harder time to fight the pack, to be fair. But I do have to get to the pack. And right now, I'm not getting much done otherwise. If I play Iroh, Iroh would just die. For 3 mana, I can't play anything. Oh, if I top deck another Duress, that would be insane. Oh, the Rip, okay. Rip is almost as good. I'll dress him first. What you got there? That seems like a lot of spells. This is a card draw. That's also a card draw. But that's a draw 1. This is a draw 2. We'll get rid of the draw 2. And then we rip them. Rip them to pieces. There you go. Now his accumulated wisdom is just tap 2 to draw a card. That's a lot more manageable. But the Demonic Pact is a scary card because I can't Iroh into these burn spells. And that also means that I might just die from my own pack. Ugh. I do have more time. Maybe I just sit still, right? Because if I throw out the pack, I die to the pack. There are a lot of ways I can get around the pack, but I could also just not draw it and die to it. That feels pretty bad. No, but like right now, there's no quench. Without a pack. He has multiversal passage on green though. So I wonder what that means. I don't know. Can't look through his deck. I don't have a deadly cover up here. He's gonna discard a card to draw 2 cards. Oh, he's gonna discard his burn spell. That's perfect. Yes, he has green. What does that mean? Is it Badger Moose? Boomerang? Okay. He's gonna do more wisdom. Tap 2 to draw a card. That seems pretty bad for him. Draw's not great for us either, but, you know. Now that I know that he has a hard time fighting the pack, I'm just gonna bring out the pack some more. Stock up's pretty good. There might be a scenario where I just Demonic Pact and throw it at him. I would just draw 2 cards and throw the pack at him. Yeah, right? He probably tosses Combustion. No, he tosses a land. That also makes sense. But has he played land this turn? No, he has not. Storm Chaser's Talent. Okay. Talent's fine. It doesn't do much. I do want to draw some cards. Oh, yeah. And another Iroh. Well, now he can deal 4 damage and make me discard 2 cards. But then he just loses the game. I don't know. Maybe I hold on to the Iroh, but he draws a card and he discards 2 cards. And then he'll have 2 cards, perhaps just to answer both the Iroh. That feels kind of bad. That was my only white mana. Okay, never mind. That was not what I meant to do at all, but this is fine. is earthbending, which he could be happy about it. That'll deal 4 damage to your top. Oh, I do get Harmless Offering. Thank God. It's very important. I'll pay my life for this. So I will Seam Rip. Joquani. What's the last one? Discard 2 cards? Alright. He's gonna want to hold the cards, right? So you can have the Seam Rip. I don't need it. No more. If he doesn't hold the cards, he's gonna have no cards left for me to Iroh or Harmless Offering him. And if he does hold the card, he's gonna kill Iroh. Sure. Not great, but he'll be back, even though he's exiled. Boomerang Tactics, just to draw a card. That's what a draw, right? Probably the best card you can draw top deck. But he didn't Boomerang Tactic my Demonic Pact, so he loses. Hope he knows that. Didn't attack either. I'm gonna eat some food. I'm hungry. How about I choose to lose the game? Now, how about you discard a card? You should discard 2 cards, but I'm nice. I just want 1. Iroh's back. You can have this Demonic Pact. I heard you like losing the game. How about you lose the game? Oh, he's gonna rope on this decision. Okay, GG. Good game, opponent. Alright, our opponent is Maguilaz. Maguilaz. Well, Maguilaz goes first. We got 3 lands, 1 more, and it's gonna be amazing. White. Well, we got our 1 more land, so let us enter tapped and we'll say go. 2 planes. Wonderweave Areolas. Do we just get rid of that right now? Can he do anything to protect the Wonderweave? This is where this is the reason why Nowhere to Run is in the deck. So let's use it. Veteran Survivor. This is the reason why it's in the deck. You got nowhere to run with your little hexproof. Oh no! It's flying hexproof. Well, that won't help you. My bad. No, right? Let's Seam Rip that Survivor. They really can only play 1 creature a turn. And I'm good at taking out this 1 creature at a turn scenario. Look at his hand. What do you got? Shard Mage Rescue, Seam Rip, Shelter by Ghost. I don't really care about the Seam Rip. I don't think it's hitting much. But Shelter is probably way more annoying. Here comes another vendor. He's just gonna Seam Rip? I don't know if that's the right play here. Okay. He's gonna Seam Rip into 2 creatures. But I think we do this. Right? Yeah, the only mana I can keep up is red anyways. I don't think that matters. Sack our Momentum Breaker. 4. Some greed. it's not the greatest. It's good to be greedy, y'all, but this greed is really just gonna hurt me. I put the greed out here, but I don't have a way to stop the greed, honestly. Alright, that's a 3-3. No attacks on the 3-3. That's insane. Not attacking on a 3-3 here? Well, I'm just gonna momentum break you for days. I will have to discard a card here, but I still think it's worth it because the way the Grease Gambit work, I'm gonna play it next turn. And then I'm gonna lose 2, right? This is the bad part, but I had to get it done, otherwise I had no value on board. Our opponent right now has no value on board. We're gonna hit another land. 9. Make a big or bust. Sort of a bust, right? I gotta discard 2 cards. Don't think I duress him here, so I can discard 2 lands. Or I can discard a land and a duress. But I need 7 mana for whatever reason here. I'll be alright. At some point he's going to want to play something. If he has a shelter here, I'm kind of screwed, but he didn't have a shelter. Did he? No, he did not have a shelter, which is probably the most important thing in this scenario. So that means we can Beseech the Mirror. One of these momentum breakers. Get our uncle out here. We got an Unk. Alright, you can have one of these greed. Now I get a 2-2. I'm gonna play this land because it just gets discarded anyway. Alright, gonna lose 2 life and sack a bat. Or sack a 2-2. The bats do fly, but I don't think flying matters as much when he has no creature left. So let's see how he wants to unk this. Oh, that's... Well, don't do that. You're gonna lose your last creature. Yeah, GG. It was risky for us, but our opponent did not take advantage of any of that. Alright. Our opponent is the Bronde. Festive Bronde. Dio Bronde. I know that's not how you spell Dio, right? I'm not going insane. I don't have a duress. I'm gonna have to hope for the best. I got nowhere to run. At least that's an answer. We'll drop a swamp. They don't know what we're doing. Where swamp go? Their island go. Alright, well that's probably the worst kind of matchup we can have. And our draws are horrendous. This is just as bad as it gets, honestly. Like 2 Harmless Offering and Uncle Iroh. Forest makes it better. This does not. Unfortunately. Seam Rip. I mean, I guess we can Seam Rip this when it comes back out, but that's about it. That does mean they're not the super control-y type. Oh. Dinosaurs, huh? None of that. No dinosaurs. What the heck? Trying to play dinosaur here? Not on my watch. Do I give him nowhere to run? I don't think it matters to either side. I don't have hexproof. Do I also want a momentum breaker? Yeah. We're just gonna go the aggro route, to be honest. I could also give him a food. I don't need this food. You can have this food. I'm not that hungry today. Esper Origin. Pretty scary. Into a Landward Elf, huh? Do I risk it? I think we risk it for the biscuit, right? Am I going to attack? This is really risky, but that's the whole point of the deck, right? It's greedy, but risky. If I draw a white mana, we get the Seam Rip and just go all out. See? I drew a white mana. Didn't even have to try that hard. Do I want to give him something? Oh yeah, the Gambit. Here, you're gonna have that. I don't think you want that, but I'm giving it to you. And you're getting Seam Ripped. Also, when Seam Rip goes away, I think the Esper Origin just also dies because it's not a permanent. So now, our Greed's gonna get him. Discard a card. Guess he didn't care about discarding that card. What do we do now? Do we give him the Seam Rip? I think that's fine. We'll give him a Seam Rip. I don't think he wants it. And our board is huge. There's an Aetherize. Ow. We'll put the Uncle Iroh back out. And we'll break his momentum. Like, that's not our win con at all. We just didn't happen to draw our win con. So we're going to have to go through the other route of just attacking with good old 4-4 here. This is going to be a 5-5 though. Gotta be careful with that. Wistfulness. He gets to break something. Hardcast Wistfulness is weird. Don't break the Gambit. Yeah. I was gonna say, don't break the Gambit. That's not how it works. Well, your Wistfulness is gone. We drew another land, huh? You hate to see that. I don't think I want a Duress at this point. It's a good card. Don't get me wrong, but I think we just want more stuff. We're gonna have this food. I'm sure you can use some food here. He's gonna eat some food. That's a-okay with us. It also means he can't Aetherize. I'm gonna bounce that Seam Rip. Smuggler Surprise. It's a Smuggler Surprise deck. We might have gotten really surprised by that. He's gonna play a land, and then he's probably gonna Smuggler Surprise us next turn, maybe. Well, he's not gonna have that many things left. I didn't want a Duress, but I got a Duress anyways. Do you have another Smuggler Surprise? You do. Adamantoise? Oh, I don't want to see that. How about you take his food? That's just mean. We'll take his food. Wait, this is 11, right? I might have counted correctly. That's 11. GG Blondie. It is I, Dio. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you saw all those Mardu gifting games, how does this deck feel? Well, this is right now in the meta. This is a very strong deck. Apparently, I was not expecting it to be this well received, but it was almost a unstoppable force. I don't think I dropped a single game except for one where I was mana screwed. So I mean, like, if you're mana screwed, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good your deck is. So other than that, this deck is really, really strong. Now, there's a few things to keep in mind. Nowhere to Run is a card that I think, although it did super perform against that white deck, it might be something that we could adjust, right? Maybe it's 2 Nowhere to Run and 1, or 2 Shoot the Sheriff, or maybe it's 3 Nowhere to Run and 1 Shoot the Sheriff, 1 Bitter Triumph even, and that's neither here nor there. I do think Nowhere to Run is a very good card, even though not many people are singing its praises. I do think Nowhere to Run still has a place, as long as WotC is still teching out warded creatures and hexproofing creatures. I do really like to stop those from happening. That's one thing. Other than that, I don't think the main board needs to change much. The 3 Harmless Offering and the 3 Iroh definitely is the good split. I don't want too many Irohs because he is legendary, and I don't want too many Harmless Offerings because they don't do anything unless I have the other pieces. So yeah, that's the whole idea of the deck. Now, the land-wise, I do think the Raucous Theater was a little bit too cute. I do think it's just Blood Crypt. Just go with Blood Crypt and you do much better than the Theater. There's so many games where I had to figure out when do I play my tap land because I need to play a 3-mana turn or a 2-mana turn, and the Raucous Theater had to come out at some point. And that could be because of the luck. So maybe it's 2 Theater, 2 Blood Crypt. Maybe it's 2 Theater, 3 Blood Crypt, and 3 Blazemire Verge. That is neither here nor there. I think the land split is okay, and the Verges get activated very easily because we have a lot of swamps. So I really do think the Raucous Theater, that's the only thing that shouldn't be as high in number of pieces, right? So maybe just 2, and then just 2 more Blood Crypts or 3 Blood Crypt in the deck will make the land fixing a lot easier to do. And that's really all I got for you today. Very strong deck, very fun to play. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.